Welcome back to Built Local, where we shine a spotlight of amazing businesses and people making a difference in our communities. Tonight, we're excited to feature David from Trendset Communications. Welcome, Dave.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on today.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah?
Very excited. It's a beautiful day in paradise here in Michigan today.
Yeah? And where are you from? Where's your home base?
Home base is in Chesterfield, Michigan.
Okay.
Just not too far from here.
Yeah.
Next door neighbor.
Yeah. And I read on, what is it, 26 mile or something? Or
Pretty close. Yeah. Well, 16 mile and 94. That's
Okay.
right where,
Gotcha.
right at the corner.
Yep. Yep. So how did you get started with Trendset Communications?
That's an excellent question. It's almost built into the name itself, Trendset Communications. A number of years ago, I worked on some projects with AT&T, and we worked on these emerging market opportunities or emerging market technologies. And it was always something that was never really available to consumers, that people were always poking at, and it was kind of interesting to me how some of this always came out. It never made it to the consumer and commercial markets, but it was trend setting nonetheless.
And so for the uneducated out there, like, is it wireless? Is it cables? Like, can you tell a little bit more exactly what you guys do?
It's real simple. You look at a building today, either a commercial building or a police department. You have lots of different technology going on. You have people that are going in and out of this 5-story commercial building with multiple businesses in and out of that run inside that building. There's a number of different levels of technology going on. First things first, the building is alive. We've got a very advanced commercial HVAC system that's in the building that requires communications back to the engineer, the building engineer, the people that monitor the building. The elevators, they require communications. The smoke detectors in the building require communications. Next thing you know, you've got 9 different layers of building IoT today that all requires communication. So you wind up with this need for infrastructure in these buildings to be able to support it that are equally as important as the elevators or the escalators themselves. Even the windows that protect the people from the outdoor environment. It's the infrastructure that supports the technology that provides that level of support or level of protection on the network.
And then fire is in there too, right?
Fire's in there. All of your first responders and public safety, rely on that as well.
I imagine they're all separate systems, or did you try to get them all into one server?
They're all equally separate systems, but they many times can ride on one infrastructure of the building. For instance, a building's made out of concrete, it's made out of steel and concrete, and then we put in the elevators, but we also put in the structured cabling solution. The structured cabling solution in the beginning or in the early days supported your computer networks. And you had server rooms and you had clients and hosts that went out to all of your different desks and your cube farms across these office buildings and multiple floors of cube farms. Every single one of those cubicles required a cable.
Right.
For the computer, required a cable for the telephone.
And what I've seen in those buildings, all those cables look the same. And you go into the server room and there's a bunch of cables. How do you know which one is which? At least with a car, it's like, okay, this is the purple with the pink stripe. This,
Police department, you have the same. The police department still has that heating and cooling system, but it also has an access control. So now all the doors are secure. So we provide the infrastructure and even, in some cases, the access control. It has a video solution, so it can protect itself. So its parking lots are covered with video, as well as throughout the building as needed.
Right.
And even the telephones. You want to be able to call the police department. That all requires structured cabling solutions of
Yeah.
of many kinds.
And so it's almost any industry you can think of, whether it's municipalities, hospitals, factories, office
Correct.
work, retail,
Correct.
Best Buy, Five Guys, Aldi, Costco, everything, right?
Correct. Back in the early '80s, we had multiple telephone numbers. Today, we have maybe one phone number. Mm-hmm. We used to back in the early '80s, we had a main phone number for our office, and then we
With
had
all
a
the
home phone
extensions
number,
on it, yeah.
and then the office had a fax line.
Yeah.
The office had a Watts line. It had an 800 number.
Oh, right, right.
And then
Yep.
it had a bank of phone numbers after that. And then the executives, they all had a phone number that was a direct dial phone number. It went right to their office because they were important.
And so all those cables are all different too, right? Phone's different
And a
than
lot of, yes.
Cat 5 or Cat 5e and RG6. It's all different stuff.
Because
right?
of the evolution of technology, it's required
Mm-hmm.
the structured cabling solutions, the structured cabling infrastructure to also
Yeah.
rapidly evolve. Yes. So we went from way back when in a Cat 3 environment in the late 1900s, 1960s through almost the 90s, and then AT&T came out with a couple of new solutions, PDS, premise distribution wiring, and then into the 2000s. We started to see Cat 5, 5E. We're into 6.
Yeah.
So today you have thousands of megabits, thousands of gigabits,
Yeah.
terabits.
Yeah.
Back then we were speaking in kilobits.
Right, right. Yeah. What about fiber optic? Is that coming in? Or?
Fiber is a wonderful place to be.
Yeah.
Fiber is the gold standard.
Yeah.
Fiber is the medium to chase. Fiber is going to be here for a very long time.
Yeah.
Fiber has 5 different generations, even though the very first one, Generation 1, is still used, and it's actually called MacGyver fiber because it's so widely used in so many different applications.
Right.
We have special fiber for going across the ocean, from
Right.
connecting all of our continents together, but in the end, we're still using Generation 1 fiber that was made
Right.
60 years ago.
Because I know with cars, they've always wanted to do fiber and run a CAN bus right down the middle of the car and have everything talk, so that way your engine knows if the window's down or if you left the child in the back seat and the right turn signal's on. One of the problems with fiber for automotive was the vibration and the extreme operating conditions where fiber can, I guess, break. It's a little more on the fragile or brittle side.
Yes, the automotive industry has really embraced wireless. They've embraced wireless at an early age and moving forward. And the evolution of cellular only enhanced that capabilities.
Yeah.
Today we have new frequencies, something called DSRC, or Dedicated Short Range Communications, that's available that the automotive industry uses to be able to communicate
Right.
car to roadway.
Yeah.
The roadway communicates to the towers communicate to headquarters and be able
Yep.
to provide all kinds of sensory information and
Yep. It's fantastic.
telemetry.
And I think Teslas have, I can't remember the buzz term, but you can, software updates over the air.
Correct.
Over the air updates.
Correct.
Which is unbelievable,
Most of our vehicles have had that for many years. It's just they've all been based on different systems. When you have guys like Elon Musk that are disruptors, that whole system is based on an entirely different premise than your big 3 have been
Right,
in the past.
right. Are you seeing any new trends in office buildings?
Yes, there are many new trends in office buildings. It's really, and it kind of started back in the COVID days, where we have these big, beautiful glass office buildings. They're just, the beautiful leased plants in the parking lots, and even these kitchens that just, the food, you don't even have to leave the office during the day. Well, now
Right,
you got
right.
COVID. So
Yeah,
COVID comes
yeah.
out. So what does COVID do? It empties those buildings, and it takes everybody home. So now everybody's relying on their home ISPs. And, and over a couple of years, that's kind of changed. And today we have more of a hybrid worker, but at the same time, technology, evolution, uh, different administrations in our government have infused lots of local business and medium business to repopulate these buildings. But they're repopulating them under different circumstances today. We have large corporations that used to take that five-story building where now we're housing 30 different businesses
Different
in that
clients in
building.
there, yeah, yeah.
The end result is we had one company dictating how that infrastructure went, how the IoT went for the buildings infrastructure, where today it's all set up as condominiums.
Right.
And now we have 30 different businesses that are in that same building. So our infrastructure has changed more to now a bandwidth as a service. We were learning all about software as a service, or SaaS for short, just a few years ago, 4, 5, 6 years ago. Now, today, we're learning about the infrastructure where it's bandwidth as a service.
Yeah.
I don't need to purchase anything. I can walk in this building with as a laptop under my belt, and I can have my coffee cup in hand. I can maybe have a business card holder, and I'm a now incubator space. I can walk in and I have an immediate startup.
Right.
I don't have to call an internet service provider to bring in an internet connection. I don't have to set up a telephone line, none of that. I walk in the door, and it's a la carte as a service with these more advanced buildings today that have future-proofed themselves for seeing what's in the inevitable future.
Yeah. Do you think we're going to get to a point to where everything's wireless and we won't need cables? Or I remember when I wired the upstairs of my house, they were like, "Yeah, okay, this wireless is all good, but if you want it really secure, put a cable on it." Is that still the case?
From a wireless guy's standpoint, I would say wire it.
Yeah, yeah,
Wire it. What's your next solution? Wireless is for when you can't wire it. That wasn't always the truth. I mean, today we have a mobile worker who can float around and almost in the middle of the desert, or even in the middle of the desert, and he requires no infrastructure, and he can
Right.
immediately connect and be connected everywhere.
Right.
But that wasn't always the case.
yeah, yeah. Because I remember we put cameras in at the nature center, and we got 2 on the pavilion. They're wired together. Then it goes to a point-to-point, beams it across to the receiver in the building, which had 2 cameras. So it was a hybrid of wireless and. Yeah. Is it still cable still safer and more reliable than wireless? Probably.
No,
No.
no. The same.
security-wise.
The same unscrupulous crowd.
Oh, they can still get into a cable?
That same layer
Yeah.
is present regardless of your medium, and that's always been a misnomer, and it is the misnomer. The least secure item would be more like a thumb drive. When it comes to information being transferred over the internet through a network that is wired in that building, that is network purchased as bandwidth as a service, but you walk around with your business plan on this little thumb drive that you put in your pocket every day,
Yeah.
and guess what? You dropped it in Panera when you were busy handing somebody a business card that you were talking to while you were waiting in line for your coffee, and you weren't paying attention. Boom.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do work with the big car companies, and they won't even allow them.
Right.
You can't plug them in anywhere.
Right,
It's too
right.
dangerous. Yeah.
So wireless is as a transmission medium for fixed wireless going from building to building has only gotten better over the years and improved. In the last 20 years, we've been able to 10x the number of speed
Yeah.
and capability and even reliability, to the point where you'll see a lot of major banks, financial institutions, large corporations across the United States, even the world, that have
Wireless.
in
Yeah.
use as primary
Sure.
connections and have fiber in use as secondary connections.
Yeah.
And you'd ask why for a moment. Why, when you can run a piece of fiber from point A to point B, what is the shortest path
Straight.
between, all right, straight between two locations? So you're able to run a fiber in between two locations. It's a straight shot. It's a 1 mile shot in between the two. Why would you run, or why would you consider putting up wireless that goes from point A to point B?
Yeah.
Wireless is 50% faster than fiber
Is it really?
based on theo-best, which is the speed of light. So you have your financial institutions today that are building large infrastructures that are all based on wireless. They're using the wireless connections for their transactional business,
Is that
and they're
right?
using
Wow.
and they're using the fiber optics for their operational transactions.
Wow. Huh. Didn't know that. I remember years ago, how the financial institutions rushed to put fiber underground so you get a signal from Chicago to New York, in like 4 nanoseconds, and the micro trading and the high speed, and now it's wireless is faster than that. Wow.
Yeah. And it, and again,
See what you learn on this show?
fiber is the gold standard.
Yeah.
And in many applications and in many industries, fiber is the solution.
Right.
It's in some situations it always isn't what it seems to be.
Right,
And
right.
wireless is the better way to go.
Yeah.
The mining industry, subterranean mining, we go 1,000 feet underground. They put fiber in. What happens when the roof falls in? Because the roof falls in every single day. So there goes your fiber. However, you have a nice, big, long tunnel that's miles long in some cases, and wireless is not a problem.
Right. Right. Wow.
So your coal and your mineral mining in around the world is a big
all
adopter
wireless,
of
huh?
wireless. Yes.
How long you been in business, Dave?
15 years
Yeah?
this year. Yes,
Okay.
15 years. Thank you.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yep, we're celebrating 15 years here in Michigan. We are a women-owned business.
Woman-owned?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're a women-owned business. I am one of the owners, but we are a women-owned business.
Nice.
Our owner is president, and she is extremely active in the business, in the
Okay.
local community.
Yeah.
Does a lot of volunteer work. She does a lot of outreach
Good.
locally.
Nice. You have a lot of competition in that space?
Again, another great question.
Yes.
Yes, there is, of course, there's competitiveness. There's where there's one, there's many. There's lots of great engineers out there and great craftsmen that that don't always answer to somebody else's drum. So they open up their own organizations and in structured cabling and in fiber optics, there's lots of
Yeah. And then I guess even when the building gets old, it's time to upgrade. I can't imagine like what goes on in a hospital. The communications in a hospital got to be
continuous.
just their technology is driving the infrastructure to catch up with it, and it must be just this constant churn of technology in there, right?
In hospital and healthcare today, well, in hospital and healthcare for the last 50 years, it's a dynamic environment. It's a truly dynamic environment. It
Yeah.
requires continuous support and continuous forethought, continuous stewardship to make sure that the directions that we're turning in today and this year are going to be fitting for what we need 2, 3, and 5 years from now.
And yet they still make me fill out 8 pieces of paper.
Yes.
It's like, what's up with that? Like, dude, come on. You don't remember me from the last time?
And
Amazon remembers me, but you don't.
I have to. I can't. I can't do the tap.
Right,
Like
right.
I could do a tap at 7-Eleven when I buy a water.
Yeah,
And
but
yet I can't. When I
not
go
at
to
the
the
doctor's
doctor's
office,
office,
yeah.
I got to pull out my driver's license, my insurance card, and
Yeah.
and inevitably some other form of payment.
Right, right. Yeah. So looking ahead to the future, what's next for Trendset?
Again,
Yeah,
another
growing?
great question. Growth. We
Yep.
see a lot of growth in the future. There's lots of great things going on right now in so many different industries that we support and work along with. First and foremost, business critical communications and mission critical communications, and supporting first responders,
Yeah.
police departments, fire departments here locally. We work with them and building owners to be able to make sure that when there's an incident or an event at one of these buildings, that those first responders, those radios are going to work
Yeah. Yeah.
first and foremost, and
Yeah.
and that's very important. So today we spend a lot of energy. It's a big priority of ours, working with local departments
Right.
to and building owners
Yeah.
around the country. It's becoming law,
Yeah.
and here in Michigan, it's right around the corner.
Well, what I noticed, like, I think it started after 9/11, when in this area, it's a metro area, you don't really know that you're going from Madison Heights to Royal Oak or whatever. It seems all the same, but all those municipalities have their own systems, police, fire, water, everything. The fire department has a different valve for each thing, and same thing on the communication side, and that's
And
just
that's
great.
their responsibility to maintain all of that.
Yeah.
That's their responsibility to, when it comes time for new equipment for procurement,
Yeah.
to see the advancements, to go to the conferences, to see the new fire safety,
Yeah. Yeah.
fire saving or life saving equipment. So that's a huge responsibility, and that's by department, by
Yeah.
agency. So it can be a huge burden for them. Yes.
And what I've noticed, like with newer communities that are, have grown up more in the technology, they go to a regional approach, versus here, we've got every township and city, it's all different, but, for big stuff, just do it on a region, and now you've got a couple million people instead of 80,000 here, 60,000 there, it's hard to keep up with that technology.
There's lots of municipalities, cities, villages, and townships today in Michigan that have created coalitions.
Right.
For instance, the Downriver Consortium, where there's 26 downriver communities that pool their money together and pool their
makes
resources
sense to me,
together
yeah.
to be able to stay ahead and make sure that those advancements are here.
Right, right.
The second thing would be, there's a lot of discussion around it. I'm going to throw it out there, data centers. I have no statement on their being good or bad. However, they're here.
Yeah, there's just so much information
my
to process.
position
Right?
is it's going to happen. This is a horse you are not going to be able to stop.
Right.
However, it provides a lot of economic opportunity for multiple businesses in local areas like Trendset Communications,
Yeah.
where we're supporting a lot of the infrastructure going in, and even the local businesses that are seeing growth spurts and seeing new revenue sources from these data centers that are local businesses. That's where Trendset Communications Group wants to be.
Nice, nice.
That business owner that now sees a new market that wasn't there before, he now has this new revenue. He's creating new jobs here locally. He's growing.
Yeah.
The tax base is growing.
Yeah.
And my business is there. Trendset Communications Group is there working with him. That's where we want to be.
So reading into what you just said, it sounds like data centers aren't just for AI.
Data centers definitely aren't just for AI. Data
See,
centers.
I was thinking that's why they're there.
Yes.
So you're saying it's for all data, not just AI. Yeah.
And it's it's funny how this came up just in the last, let's say in the last year, that no data center in my backyard.
Right.
It's only because in the last couple of years, with new administrations putting energy and focus on it, with with your key players in those market, like Meta, like Amazon, like
Yep.
Facebook, like
yeah, yeah.
like Starlink,
Yep.
and those key players being able to round up billions of dollars and do it in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
That's been happening for years, just not on this level or at this level.
Right, right.
AWS,
Yeah.
that's another name for Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah.
AWS, Amazon Web Services, is a data center. These data centers have been here for years and years and years. Trendset Communications has worked in these data centers for a number of years,
Nice. Nice.
working in the financial
End of things. Yep. Yep.
financial end of things with the New York Stock Exchange. We worked with them for we were dedicated for about 8 years in
Wow.
New York City and New Jersey.
Yeah. That leads me to my next question. Is there any kind of big project, something memorable that you're really proud of, or was very significant? Kind of has a special place in your heart. You said Waterford was your number 2 client, right?
Yes, there is. There's and it's funny when you ask that question because it is client number one. Client number one is a local client, and starting 15 years ago, it was a small printing company, and they had dreams of growth, and they had plans of growth, and it was 2 older men, and they executed their plan. They executed their plan in purchasing and acquisition of other printing companies that happened to be local within a few mile radius of their main operation, right here locally. It presented an immediate challenge. How do we connect all of this together? The mothership has these gigantic printers that are millions of dollars and can't be moved anywhere and run 24 hours a day. So none of that operation can be
move.
interrupted.
Yeah.
So as they were acquiring these other buildings, they had somebody on it with looking on it from a wireless perspective. Can we do this from a wireless perspective? Fiber had already been looked at, very expensive, permitting, just a very long turnaround time. Wireless, we can put up in weeks. So they constructed a small tower on the rooftop of the mothership, the main headquarters, and began connecting the other locations. They had at the time, I believe they had 2 or 3 locations when we met them.
Right.
And wireless was it. They were using wireless. They also had a lot of problems going into it. In the summer months, their tower was struck by lightning once or twice a month.
Wow. Tallest object around or something, right?
Yes. Oddly enough, it really it didn't have much to do with the fact that it was really tall. However, it was tall, nonetheless. And so they had to keep equipment spares on hand, and they had to keep somebody on retainer to be able to go and replace this equipment.
Wow.
And a professional climber would climb up this tower and replace the equipment, get it back online.
Good.
So when we met them, they were into this process now for about 2 years, and really at their wits' end with the previous equipment manufacturer not fitting the bill, and the integrator nonetheless was getting a little bit tired with the program as well. And
So you guys go in there and
we
say
came
good
in
day?
and we took a look at their existing situation. We provided a couple of quick proposals to be able to one, stop the scenario from happening and repeating itself.
Yeah.
And then 2, being able to, let's move forward.
Right.
We wound up actually increasing the height of their tower by 40 feet. And we removed all of the existing wireless technology, put a separate type of wireless technology up there. And today, their tower gets hit by lightning.
And it doesn't affect the communication.
Nothing happens.
Right. Awesome.
That's 11 years running.
Good stuff. So how can, if people want to have more information, how do they get a hold of you?
15 years running.
Get a website or phone number? Or?
Again, a great question. We are on social media. You can find us on Facebook, TCG, or Trendset Communications Group.
TCG.
Our website is tcgexperts.com or tcg-pros.com.
Okay. All right. Good.
And we're on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, Snapchat. We want to make it easy for local business to be able to connect with local business.
You are in the communications business.
We are in the communications business. Yes.
Well,
we enjoy what we do every day. It's great. It really is.
Good. Well, I want to thank you for coming in, Dave. It's been a real pleasure and an enlightenment, and for an engineer geek like me, I could talk to you all day.
Yes. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Until next time, we'll see you on Built Local.